Before the sun had found the ducks, the water held its gray, and little boats beside the pier rocked softly in the bay. Two old hands carried nets and rope through salt and morning cold, and all the roofs in the unusual town were blue before the gold. Where the harbor wakes slow, we follow past the posts and weathered planks,
past the lanterns, past the tide line,
past the boats in quiet ranks.
in this very unusual town.
Every small thing seems to know
There is peace in patient living,
where the harbor wakes slow. By the sheds beside the water road, gray-haired neighbors stood. One mended lines, one checked the crates, one split a little wood. The gulls turned white above the mast, the tea was poured below, and one bright orange coat was hung where the sea wind used to blow. Where the harbor wakes slow,
we follow
past the barrels and nets and rain,
past the bait shop, past the smokehouse,
past the salt upon the lane. In this very unusual town, every old dream seems to keep
a little room for mercy
and a little room for sleep. At dusk the boats came drifting inward, and the lamps began to shine. A woman called from down the harbor, a man brought in the line. The windows filled with amber light, the tide moved dark below, and peace came in with evening fog, where the tired boats rock slow. Where the harbor wakes slow,
we follow
home through twilight calm and near,
past the porches, past the fishnets,
past the things that kept us here. In this very unusual town, even old hearts still can know
there is room for gentle wonder,
where the harbor wakes slow. Soft as lantern glow, where the harbor wakes slow. Beyond the piers and weathered posts, the white salt morning breathed, and working boats in iron blue pushed outward through the sea. Old hands held fast to rope and rail, their coats pulled by the wind, while all the houses by the shore stood awaiting still within. When the tide came home in light, we followed past the spray and past the foam,
open water's mercy,
past the pull that led us home. In this very unusual town, every heart has learned to know
the sea can rise in strength around you
and still return you whole. By noon the gulls were high and turning, the nets were heavy drawn. One voice called over shifting waves, one answer through the storm.
The hulls took on the restless sea, the mast leaned into sky,
and one bright orange line held firm against the darkening tide.
When the tide came home in light, we followed
Past the ropes and salted hands,
past the labor and the longing,
past the faith that understands. In this very unusual town, every old dream seems to see
there is kindness in the hard sea weather
and grace inside the deep. By evening all the lamps were waiting along the harbor wall. A woman stood beside the window listening for the call.
Then one by one the boats came through, the last gold of the west,
And all the dark upon the water
laid its head to rest. When the tide came home in light, we followed
past the bells and mooring lines,
past the lanterns on the pilings,
past the slow returning tide. In this very unusual town, even old hearts still believe
the sea strong enough to test us
and kind enough to keep. Soft as harbor light,